Welcome back to FBW Gaming, guys. As always, I'm Biscuit.
I'm Flair.
We have a super exciting interview coming up for you guys, and one I didn't think would ever happen, to be
I'm
honest.
so excited to see this.
Oh, I know. But
Oh,
before we get to that amazing stuff, guys, I just want to say thank you for coming to game with us. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with us watching our stuff. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So please take a moment to like the video. If you haven't yet and you're new to the channel, then please make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and then share the video with your alliance mates. As we're going through this video, guys, I want you guys to think of about a couple of questions, and I want you guys to leave us feedback. So as we're going through this video, with this interview with these two amazing individuals, I want you to put, what is your favorite point? What is your favorite aspect of this resource? And your second one, I want you guys to be thinking of, what is, if you were king for a day, no resources were a question, what is one thing you would like to see come to this resource? Think about those two questions during this interview, guys, and drop the answers to those down in the bottom. So without further ado, guys, grab some popcorn, sit back, keep your feet up, and let's get to this amazing interview.
let's do it.
And we're back, guys. When Flair and I started this channel, it was at 0 subscribers with this idea of, hey, let's do some YouTube content from Rebel Strike Force. We kind of tossed around, hey, would any big names ever like be able to come on the channel, or would we ever be able to get those big names on the channel?
And the realist in me was like, we'll come back to that one later.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And this interview, guys, is literally one of the interviews that we talked about. Hey, if it ever happened, I would love to be able to get these guys interviewing here on FBW Gaming. You guys know them. You guys love them. They run MSF.GG. Welcome to FBW Gaming, TyeJae and PimpToxie. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing good, Biscuit. And I don't know about love, but hopefully they like us.
Well, after discovering a lot of the tools that that are out there, because when I first started my Marvel Strike Force account, and having come from another game, and they had a .gg, it was like this, it was literally everything, and it was so easy. And then I'm like coming here, and it's like I gotta take pictures. It was so right at first, it was a little cumbersome, I guess. Not, maybe tedious is the right word, until I discovered some better tools to help manage my account.
But then it's not just the roster stuff as well. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with it. And honestly, and I had it, so I have it pinned on my desktop computer. I have it pinned on my work computer because wars always happen while I'm at work anyway. So I'm having to look back and forth and look at stuff anyway. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna have this pinned. They don't care. But speaking of all those features and stuff like that, kind of exploratory question, because again, one of the things that we've been doing, especially like what we did with our Mantis interview videos, hashtag up in the corners, for people that want to go see those, is that we were kind of catering to newer players, or players that have gotten the itch. They're wanting to kind of learn a little more about the game, or dig a little deeper into it. What are some of the features, what are the things that, people can use MSF.GG for?
Yeah. So I was just going to give a little bit of a preface to like what MSFGG like started with. I came from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes too, and I used the .gg there. I used it all the time. And so first thing I did when I came over was look for that. And I found it, MSF.GG. I wasn't one of the original creators, PimpToxie, and I'm blanking on his name. Imperialist. Thank you. They created the site, and I just kind of was like in awe of what I saw, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I kind of said knock knock to Toxie, and my timing was right because Imperialist was on his way out, and I kind of slid right in. So that was kind of fun. And um, just seeing where we've come from that point is pretty cool. So we didn't have things like rosters at that time. We didn't have alliances that you could sync up. We didn't have a lot of the tools that we have, like the Dark Dimension Planner, all that stuff that is so helpful, to where we are in today's state of the game. We didn't have, it was basically, I think we call it like a database of the game where you could go and find out a little bit more of the finite details that are a little bit harder to find maybe in the game. But now we've expanded quite a bit into a lot of different avenues that help guild leaders and help, captains manage their alliance, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ty covered it really well. I mean, the original general premise was basically just to act as an information database for all the information that you would readily be accessible in game. That most other games of this caliber have some sort of website, not even just .gg, but like an official website which has like character bios or shows you the abilities of characters and stuff like that. And there was just a complete lack thereof. Like they did have a website, but it wasn't showcasing anything like that. It's not much more advanced than what their current website is right now. But yeah, so back then we just had like, I think it was like characters, we had raid maps and like your campaign and challenge information. And I think the big thing at the time was like, we had the daily reset timer up on there. And we thought that was amazing. So, I mean, yeah, no, it was simple back then. We weren't trying
things in life.
Yeah, no, we weren't trying to have any big tools or do anything too out of control, but it was pretty much limited by capability at that point. When Ty jumped on, we just completely exploded.
I know one of so one of the big things that I especially started using the site for was when ISO dropped.
Yep.
It was like you guys were the ones that were able to take the information, be like, okay, here's what they do on their bonus attacks, and here's what they do with all this stuff, and it's like and especially that in conjunction with a full readout of the kit, and be like, okay, here's what they do at this level, here's what they do at this level, here's the total % damage they do. That helps. That kind of helped me get a good grasp on some of the characters to put, okay, do I take them skirmisher, do I take them striker? Why would you take like Anti-Venom having a stupid huge damage boost on his bonus attack? It's like you wouldn't know that if you didn't see that ISO feature, especially through like MSF.gg. So
because that assist or that counter, that ISO attack isn't shown in game.
No, they only have like a couple characters that don't have it. So
right. And so it's like if you're looking in game, okay, what do I do? How do I make this? What ISO do I run on this character? It's not in game, so there's what better resource than MSF.gg that literally shows assist / counter.
Yeah. So I know you. What are some of the more recent things that y'all added? I know a couple of things y'all just done more recently. So can we kind of go into those?
Yeah. We got the newest thing that we added was the Dark Dimension Planner. So we have Dark Dimension 2, 3, and 4 that you can plan out right on the site. I tell you what, man, I use that thing all the time. I mean, I'm updating my inventory, at least every other day, like trying to plan things out and make sure I'm grabbing the right things and equipping the right characters. Because man, does that set you back? Because I didn't do that for DD3, and I kind of flew by my pants on that one, and it really bit me. So I want to be really prepared for DD4. So
yeah, I because that's a brand new feature. Before that, Flair and we share a Google, and so it was literally, oh hey, I found 3 spores in the store. All right, let me jump over to my Google sheet. All right, that's 40. That's my 48th spore.
How many more do I need? Let me run this quick command really quickly. Oh god, I need some more. Yes.
Right. And so it was literally, all right, I need 12 titanium alloys. All right, so there's one in the store. Let me go update my Google sheet. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It is painful.
And I love Ma, if you guys are watching this, Ma just came back. We're doing this early March. Ma just came back. So the last 3 weeks, I've had Ma on my DD3 planner on MSF.gg, and pairing my account with Mantis as I was scanning my roster, updating my inventory, I'd be able to go on to MSF.gg, and I can literally click on DD3 and it tells me for my cosmic nodes, because I had Thanos, Minerva, Hela already done. I only needed Ma. And so I'm like, okay, what gear do I need for him? And
That's exactly what you need.
And it would be like, you need this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, that is so awesome. The quickness that it happens is absolutely insane, and it's in real time, and I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. I love hearing that feedback, man. That's because me and Toxie spent a lot of time
yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, I mean, Ty put together the basic skeleton and prototype for it, and then we just, I don't know, it was at least a week of just like doing it every single night and during the day, when we probably should be working on the site instead. And by the time we're done, it's the final product that you see on the site now, and we're pretty proud of it. It is one of those slicker tools that we've added.
Yeah, the DD2 part, was that really recently? Because I remember it was 3, then 4.
Yeah, it was a request. I think what you had that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Ty?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was a request on our Discord.
Which honestly is really nice, because you have a lot of people who are like, who should I take into Dark Dimension 2? And so that helps them out a whole lot as well. So absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So next, kind of more for the newer players. Why should a newer player or a player that's gotten the itch, why should they be using MSF.gg? What are, why should they be using that instead of, the crazy simpleton Neanderthal route of a spreadsheet all over the place?
There's a bunch of reasons. I mean, if you're just there individually and you're not like really too much into like alliance play or anything right now, I mean, you can still, we were just talking about, get a good handle and track like your individual information on your characters and the growth on your characters. If you're uploading them or using Mantis or like a tool like Hazelwood to actually physically upgrade your roster, it's going to keep snapshots of it over time. You can see like a comparative there's a little button that pops up when you're looking at your roster, and you can click it and go back and see all the different like update times and all the different stats for the characters and how many times that you have progressed them and how many times basically you've updated new data for it. Okay. So it's a good metric and just a measuring tool, and that just for an individual player. But again, then there's everything else. I mean, it can walk you through every single mission that you're gonna be seeing. It will tell you what the individual waves and the characters within the missions. It's going to tell you how to beat or what all the daily challenges are and the different tiers of the challenges. It's going to help you get acclimated with the different tiers of the gear which are in the game, because we all know there's a ton and the inventory tracking is pretty abysmal. So trying to figure it out, and it can be a little bit mystifying for new players. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, and that doesn't even scratch the surface of any alliance features. So if you're going in as a new player and you have a bunch of friends that are going on the journey with you, the alliance management tools make the entire journey so much easier. Being able to make lane guides directly on the website and then feed them into the bot, so you can just print them out on Discord, have people claim on the website, and have all your lane assignments and everything all handled in that regard. There's a lot of information. There's a real lot of cool stuff. And one of the newer things we added too, which is a little, I guess would be more for intermediate players, is the T4 meta confidence and the ISO confidence. And these are basically just polling all of the upgrades throughout the community on a 30-day basis, so you can get a trend and see what has been going on a month-to-month basis and growth within the community and what people are picking and investing with the characters. So it can help you make a more educated decision in terms of how you want to advance your roster and use your resources.
Yeah, I think you hit it. We have the trending T4s as well, but that one I feel is more like, all the new characters that are coming out fill those lists up pretty fast.
Kind of a little more volatile.
It's a little more volatile. That's a good way to say it. Whereas like a newer player might not have those characters, so they can fall back on the regular T4s and say, well, what is everybody T4ing on the characters that I have, which I think is really important.
All right. Okay. what are so we mentioned PimpToxie, you mentioned that there's a bot, and we've been setting this up. What are some uses, player, like everyone that kind of lives in Discord? I feel like especially in 2021 and where we are in the world and whatnot, a lot of us are living in Discord just as much as the real world. What are some uses for the bots that maybe some people don't know about or don't always use, or could probably use a little bit more?
Well, the number one command by far is the counter command. I mean, that thing, we're about to reach 6 million commands processed any day now, and like 3.2 million of them are from the counter command. So, and the number one search team. Let's see if anybody could guess it. If you didn't see my post,
I've already seen the post. So
okay.
I feel like I'm a little behind on this. I haven't seen this post.
It's Mercs.
Mercs.
I didn't think it was going to be Mercs. I thought it would be like Marauders or somebody.
Especially people trying to like figure out like this niche, like, oh, maybe if I didn't invest all those characters,
The Mercs makes sense when you think about it, because there are a lot of accessible characters right out of the gate. I mean, there's no paywall characters except Taskmaster, and you can get him now. He's farmable now, so makes sense.
Yeah,
they're paying the ass too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, speaking, I mean, because I'm in the Doom War now, so I'm in chapter 2, and I'm not building AIM, so I'm building my Mercs with Killmonger and Shuri.
Okay.
So now they're sitting, well, with war bonuses, they are sitting about 240K. And our opponent took in like a 400K Asgardian team against them, and I'm like, yes, I love seeing this kind of thing.
If they're throwing like huge crap against it, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's if they're not throwing in if they're throwing in smaller stuff, okay, fine. If they're throwing in big stuff, that's a win in my book.
The other cool thing about the counter command is you don't have to have your roster. So I think a lot of people have that misconception that to use the MSFGG bot counters, I have to have my roster in MSFGG. Well, you don't. The cool thing about it is that if you don't have your roster in there, it just spits out a percentage and you can calculate it yourself. So it's a 15% punch up. Well, if you have a 400K team, then figure out the math and that's what you need to do. So,
and you can still physically just enter the power level of whatever the team is that you're fighting, and it's going to tell you the exact number that you should have to go against it. So it doesn't you don't relatively need your roster. If you don't add that number query to the end of it, it's going to give you the percentages that Tyson was just saying, but otherwise,
yeah, I want to say like 95% of the counter commands that everyone in our alliance is running is either it's usually a number, and you can tell how many don't have account stuff set up because they're either missing like a specific character on the team or whatnot that we know that they have. And so, but still it's providing that approximate power level that they should be in order to be able to counter it.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that, 3.2 million of your over 600 or 6 million commands have been counters, because that's what most of our stuff is, unless they're just bringing up a new character and they're wanting to figure out T4s and ISO. So
yeah, that's the hottest rising commands that we have is the T4 and ISO commands for the bot.
One of the things that that I just unlocked Maw, and so now I have a full Black Order team. I'm like, I've got a crap ton of T4s because I've been really stingy. And it's like, okay, what T4s go on the full Black Order team? How many do I need to invest? Which ones are priority? And you can run the command, and it says, here's the first priority, here's the second one, and it might be a different character. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Otherwise, I might have to ping somebody on Discord and wait for them to be able to answer back. Biscuit, you bring up a pretty good point actually, because that's something that the bot has that the site doesn't. Is it has that you can look up those T4s by team, whereas the site you'd have to individually like type out the characters and things like that. So, and
I noticed as well it has the team placement. So it has like the top 3 like most prominent configurations of teams, like as they have them and loaded
team order.
You want to know how we get that data?
By how they loaded into the saved squads?
No, me and Toxie log every single blitz battle we do, and so so we take our opponent's layout and it gets put into the database. That's how we get that data.
We don't just log every single blitz battle that we do. We log every single option of an attack that we do.
So every time you blitz, you're logging the 3 choices the game gives you?
Correct.
So assuming you have 30 blitz teams at, you know, tier 8, that's 90, yeah.
I'm trying to.
Well, you can see how you can get that data pretty quickly.
Oh my
God. Yeah. When we're both doing the amount of blitzes that we do, because we both try to top 1% all the blitzes we come out, and we're running. Both of us are running the same blitz setup, so it's 29 teams that we're running currently.
Okay.
Getting that 30th is hard. It's just hard. I don't want to bring up some of the characters. Some of them are just trash, as Mobile would say. But no, once you get some of the data, I mean, it starts adding up quick, and you can get a good indication of what is the most effective place to put the characters.
And so I bet since you guys do that, you're really happy about SimBlitz.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, that's some truth there. You know, but I built a tool that helps us do that. So it's not like we're sitting there with a pen and paper, you know.
This battle, Proxima is here, Ma is here.
It's just a data aggregate tool, that's all.
Okay. I just created a little tool that just reads the screen, similar to what Zarathos is doing. You know, I had an interest in it, and it was funny because I was talking to Zarathos about this whole thing about starting to do this overlay, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" Like 2 weeks ago, I made an overlay, and so he said he wanted to do that, and I said, I don't have enough time to keep doing stuff like that. So I was like, I am more willing to help you in any way I can with data or whatever. So I just did this for us so that we could start capturing this data, because one of the questions that people always ask, and new people ask it a lot, where should I put these characters? In what order?
Well, we had one of our alliance mates last night ask in our Discord, hey, what order does, you know, this team go in? And I didn't, you know, right offhand, I didn't know. So I was like, oh, let me go look. I think it was for Symbios actually. And there's, you know, there's some variety of things, but there's no,
there's a little variety.
There's no, because there's no adjacency energy given. So it's kind of a free for all, but other than keeping Scream and Anti-Venom on, at least for me, I keep them on opposite ends of the team. So there's really not a right or wrong way. So I went up to the MSF bot and I did team order Symbiotes, and I was like, hey, and I tagged him and I was like, hey, you can run it this way. And he was like, dude, I didn't know the bot could do that.
That's so awesome.
Well,
I love hearing that.
It's great because, you know, and especially like I've saved now all the commands. So it's like, okay, I want to try this command today. Ooh, this does this. I like this. I'm going to keep using this one now.
You want to hear something funny? Sometimes I'm like, oh, our bot does that?
It happens to me constantly.
When you work
it's only been a year now. We've had so many different commands added to it. It's like, oh, okay, just scrolling through the help. Oh yeah, we did do this. Oh.
I honestly forgot that I forget sometimes that there's an attack command, because it's like, oh, I have this team.
Oh, it's my favorite.
I have this team. What can I do with them?
Yeah, I got tired of asking a question, and that's where it came from. More than anything, being an alliance leader and having to lead wars, people were asking me constantly, oh, we just have like this one team left over. What can I attack with? I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Please. Please.
I never could figure out what the attack command was and what it was for. I always assumed it was that you were attacking that team. And I'm like, why not just use counter? And I'm like, I never understood it until now. Oh, it's awesome. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. That was Toxie's brainchild. I just put the code in.
Man, if I get annoyed by something, I come up with brilliant ideas.
All right, guys. So unfortunately, this is a long video, just like the Mantis interview. And we don't want to have you all sitting here for like an hour for this. So, hey, what we're going to do, we're going to split this into 2 parts. This is the end of part 1. Tune in later for part 2, where we just continue talking with TyeJae and PimpToxie. And oh my gosh, like this has been such a fun interview.
It it was just too good to cut, and we had to do it justice. We couldn't cut it short. It was just too good of an interview, guys.
This went great. So hey, tune in later this week for the second part of the interview. Seriously, thank you for spending time with us, for watching this stuff, and also as a normal outro kind of deal. Yes, thank you. We love you. All of our links and stuff, links to msf.gg are going to be their Discord and their website and all that stuff are down below. And we'll talk more on like how you can support them in the second part. Also to Twitch as well, to my Twitch for stuff like that, for MSF stuff. We've been kind of breaking out a little bit with variety and as well as the MSF content. You can actually go see a highlight from Friday a while back of doing interviewing, actually a couple of ones. One with Biscuit and I with Sith Lord Fluffy talking about the roadmap for the first half of 2021, as well as the response to the community, the dev acknowledgement post that they had, that 3-week follow-up. You can see all that and more, all those things down in the description, or you can check out the other videos that we have here on the channel. Seriously, thank you so much for spending just a little bit of time with us. Don't forget, share this stuff with your alliance mates. Think about those 2 questions. Something that you would like to see if you're king for the day. You had all the resources in the world. What would you want to see added into msf.gg? So, yeah, I'm Flair,
and I'm Biscuit, guys,
and we'll see you all in the next one.